G'day, ZiggyD here. In this video I'm going to be going over Neverwinter's free-to-play and microtransactions model. Now I'm going to be referencing an awesome post by Tatters on Reddit, so I'll link to that in the description below and you can read that as well, but I'm going to be going over most of the points that he covers in this particular video. So first up, I just want to say that Neverwinter has been, so far for me, an extremely fun game. It has some very impressive elements to it, the combat is very fun, and there's some pretty awesome systems in it. Overall, I'm very impressed for this, for what is essentially a free MMO. And you can also experience pretty much the entirety of the game without paying a single dollar. So that's the most important thing. It isn't pay to progress in any way. You can experience pretty much everything without having to invest any money in Zen or anything like that. So as an introduction, I'm just going to cover the basic immediate types of currency in Neverwinter. So you've probably already seen most of these just from, exploring the menus and things like that. But basically you have gold, which is, your gold, silver and copper, which is just acquired by killing enemies and selling gear and stuff like that to vendors. And that's used for most of the basic stuff and crafting materials and things like that. Sadly, I get a bit sad when I see games like this and see that gold essentially isn't that useful. In Neverwinter, most stuff is done through Astral Diamonds. So that brings me to the next one, which is Astral Diamonds, which is your currency you can get through the auction house. Everything on the auction house is done through Astral Diamonds. There's tons of Astral Diamond vendors. There's an Astral Diamond store, and a lot of the microtransaction-y sort of stuff, like speeding up crafting and things like that, is done through Astral Diamonds. It will be the main currency that you use for a lot of high-end stuff. And then beyond that is Zen, which is Perfect World's sort of overall currency that they link all of their MMOs together with. You can buy that through their site, and then you can use that on their various games. So if you've ever played another Perfect World's MMO, then you've probably encountered Zen before. Now, Zen is used directly in the game to buy a lot of luxuries and things like that, but it can also be converted to Astral Diamonds. So you can essentially buy Zen through the Perfect World Zen system, and then convert that to Astral Diamonds to spend on the auction house to, acquire most of the best gear in the game. So that's pretty much just, kind of what you have to deal with these free-to-play MMOs. If you played Guild Wars 2, it's very similar to the Diamond system in that, or the Gem system, I can't remember exactly what it was called. But, the system of that where you can pay real money and convert it to in-game currency, essentially. So that, is pretty much a fact of life for this sort of game. So the first thing that you can, is linked to microtransaction system is mounts. Now, as a player who doesn't pay anything at all, at level 20 you can start having access to mounts. Now the basic mounts give you a 50% increase in speed, which is, it feels pretty nice. You actually get a few rental tokens to rent these mounts with, and you can do that from the mount vendor, and I've done that. And you can actually buy them permanently though, so to bypass the 5-hour rental period for 5 gold, which is very easy to do as a player. Just after playing to level 20, I easily have over 2 or 3 gold or something like that. So it doesn't take too long to get 5 gold. So pretty much any player can very feasibly get access to a 50% increased mount. Now you can upgrade those mounts through this mount training system, which is done through Astral Diamonds. However, the amount of Astral Diamonds it costs to do this is pretty obscene. So to increase your mount to 80% move speed is, at the time of Tatta's post, was listed as 768,000 Astral Diamonds, and then for a 110% increase, and you have to do these in order as well, is another 2 million Astral Diamonds. Now, the Astral Diamond system overall in the game is very currently inflated, and that's because the initial supporters who spent like $60 or $200 to buy the founder packs received huge amounts of Astral Diamonds, and that flooded the market with Astral Diamonds, meaning the Astral Diamond to Zen conversion and the basic value of Astral Diamonds for things in game is quite a lot. Now, the maximum amount of Astral Diamonds you can earn per day in Neverwinter without, buying anything like that, through just the normal earning and conversion method is 24,000 per day. Now, that's not a lot, to get to 2 million Astral Diamonds, it's going to take you quite a long time. So if you're looking to upgrade to 110% mount through the Astral Diamond system just through playing the game, it's going to take quite a long time to do that. Now, you can instead buy mounts through Zen. So, you can buy your standard ones for about $5 to $8 worth of Zen. You can get 80% ones for $20 to $30, and then the epic ones range from $30 to $40. The more expensive ones, are like the fancy ones. So if you see people riding around wargs and things like that, they're the much more expensive sort of $30 to $40 ones. But if you think about that in terms of monthly subscription, maybe you don't mind dropping 2 or 3 months worth of subscription onto getting a mount that maybe you'll never spend anything else and you'll play this game for months and months. So in the end, that alone isn't too big an issue. Now, inventory space is the next thing, which a lot of people are complaining about. Personally, I don't find much of an issue with inventory space because I don't pick up a lot of trash when I play these sorts of games. But the runes system will fill up your inventory slots pretty quickly. So just through not playing normally, you get your basic amount of slots, and then you get an extra 18 slot bag and 12 slot bag. You can't craft any bags or anything like that, and you can't buy them through gold and stuff like that. So if you want more, you have to buy them through Astral Diamonds. In dollars cents worth of Astral Diamonds currently, 12 slot bag costs about $6, 24 slot costs $10. You also get a bank through which you can access through town, which gives you 16 extra spaces, and that can be upgraded to 32 spaces for another $6. So inventory space is quite limited, and extra inventory space is very, really hidden behind some sort of microtransaction system. So that will be a frustrating thing for some people, but as I said, personally, I don't find that to be too much of an issue. The next thing is companions. Now, starting at level 16, you get your free basic companion. You can have a choice of different companions. I think most people tend to go with the cleric because it's the most useful. Now, these have a rank cap. This is kind of separate to character levels and works very differently, but the rank on the basic companions is capped at 15. Now, you can buy additional companions from those initial sets for gold, and that can be done fine, and those can be switched out and leveled up fine. Now, this rank cap of 15 actually doesn't seem to be too big an issue. I've talked to a few people in endgame, and they said their basic companion does quite well at rank 15. It's not like they're dying all the time, and they're still able to do pretty well. However, you can get much better or upgraded companions for around $15 worth of Zen. $20 also gets you a rank cap 21, and $30 to $35 gets you, an epic, glowy, fancy one that has a rank cap of 30 and also has additional skills. So if you see people with really impressive looking companions, they're the ones that cost somewhere around the $30 marks or something like that. So the next thing is professions. Now, you can do most profession stuff through just normal gameplay, which is quite good. It can all be done through gold, actually. Now, you can use Astral Diamonds to speed up crafting. The only thing that is definitely hidden behind the paywall is that there's I think they're purple or green assets or something like that. So there's these assets which upgrade the quality of items. Now, basically, in the most simplest terms, you can get a 20% increase in quality overall, so increase in actual stats on crafted equipment, by paying, and getting these booster packs, which have a chance at getting these, these epic tier crafting assets. So if you really, really heavily want to get into crafting and you want to be, crafting the best stuff you possibly can craft, you're going to have to sink a bit of money into that. Now, the next thing is character slots, and you probably encountered this straight away. You have up to 2 character slots. Now, with a game that has, more than 2 classes, and if you really, really like leveling multiple classes, you are going to have to sink some money into getting additional character slots. You can get another 2 additional character slots for $5. Now, renaming your character also costs $4, which, okay, fair enough, it's not something you need all the time, but this is the one that really bothers me. Respecking your skills costs $6 worth of Astral Diamonds. Now, respecking your feats also costs Astral Diamonds, but that's determined by your current level, and that isn't too bad, but the skill respec, I think, is pretty exorbitant, basically. Now, here's the really big one, and this is one I didn't actually know about, and that Tatters' post goes into really great detail with, and I guess it's the most frustrating point of this, because this is where the actual pay-to-win really comes into it. Basically, PvP in this game, while okay now, doesn't have much future longevity in my opinion, because there is a huge advantage to be gained by players willing to sink money into getting runes. So basically, if you've tried combining runes before, you'll notice it has something like a 95% chance to combine at rank 1. However, in the end game, there's these armor and weapon enchantments that you get through, doing epic dungeons and things like that, and they come through shards, and you have to combine 4 of these shards to create a lesser version of the enchantment. However, the chance of success on these is 1%. Now, if you fail, you lose these materials. 1%. You could do, 100 of these and probably never even get a successful fusion as a free player. So, the way of avoiding this in terms of microtransactions is you can buy 2 different types of wards. One that prevents the items from being destroyed if you fail, which isn't really going to help out with the 1% thing because you're going to fail a lot. And they're pretty cheap. However, there is a very expensive ward you can buy that will guarantee success. So to put this into perspective, to get the, the greater version of an enchantment. So that's multiple combines of these, combining 4, then combining 4 again, then combining 4 of the upgraded ones. It's going to cost you about $160 and 64 of these shards. So unlike, other things in the game, these can be used in PvP. And these greater enchantments are pretty insane, like very, very powerful. Now I'll put some example of one of these up on screen, which is the Thunderhead Enchantment, which basically, deals lightning damage to enemies that attack you at a 10%, and it increases by each tier of the actual enchantment. So people who are willing to spend a lot of money into the game will have a huge advantage in PvP, and this will ruin PvP for free-to-play players, basically. It'll be very difficult to take on someone who is decked out in all of these enchantments if you're just using the basic enchantments that you can achieve through normal game. So, of course, you can do this through Astral Diamonds, and you can earn Astral Diamonds, through gameplay. So, it's, on a very technical level, you can just play and grind out these and eventually reach that. But I think it's going to take years to be able to even get one of those at the current Astral Diamonds rate. Now, there's a chance in the future that Astral Diamonds will settle down a bit as they get spent. There's quite a few Astral Diamond sinks, but I don't think it'll ever become very attainable for the average non-paying player. So, overall, how much of an issue is that? Well, it's a pretty fun game overall, and although that, has potential to ruin PvP, it's not going to impact your experience too much if you're just into the PvE and, like doing the foundries and things like that. Having, someone else in your party who's significantly more powerful than you because they've sunk money into the game to do that doesn't really that negatively impact you. However, as I said, it will ruin PvP a bit. Now, people will have to spend lots of money to make up for the people that don't pay. And that's pretty much the case with any sort of microtransaction game that's free to play. The developers are expecting that some people, who have significant, real life wealth will be willing to spend, hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the game to pay for the people that are paying for free. And we've seen that work very successfully in other games like League of Legends and Path of Exile. Now, in contrast, in those games like Path of Exile, especially, using that as an example that I'm most familiar with, all of those microtransactions are essentially aesthetic. So, although people, still are willing to buy a lot of aesthetic things and pay a lot of money buying aesthetic things, paying hundreds of dollars, they're not actually achieving an in-game advantage through that. So this system is very, very woven into Neverwinter, and you've probably already noticed if you've been playing the game that it is quite intrusive. You are reminded of it all of the time, Basically, anywhere you can click, there's almost something to be able to, spend Astral Diamonds or to purchase Zen or to do some sort of Zen Astral Diamond deal there. So overall, as I said, very fun game, got some awesome stuff in it. Unfortunately, sort of really wrapped into this microtransaction system that's somewhat intrusive and limiting to the free players, but overall, if you can have fun with the game and you don't have to spend money if you don't want to, or you can maybe you can sink a few dollars into it to improve your fun a little bit, then that's okay. But at least it's important to be aware of these things. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.